as I walk along this long, familiar stretch, yes, this is the place where I did so many of those Lyle's brother video from back in the day. I'm going to invoke the spirit of Lyle's brother, LB, and tell you about what it was like with the Shinkansen bullet train racing past on its way down to Kyoto. So what it was like to buy a house. So here's the process. We went to the realtor's office, Yumiko and I, and we were there at 1 o'clock, and I was told it would take about 2 hours to do. Basically, we went through every page of the document. There were in 3 documents that we had to go through, though I don't know what the distinction was. All three of them. My wife was, led the way. I would like to point out that I led the way when we bought a house in Japan. I mean, in America. So what goes around comes around, right? And I read every page of that document too. But the realtor led the way, our realtor, and it was a nice office, very kind of an old-fashioned, kind of like a show-off feel to it. Kind of even the smell of cigarette smoke in there didn't bother my wife. Surprising that. Anyway, sat down, and 3 documents in front of us. Tea was brought over, bottles of tea, oyocha, and the realtor proceeded to go through page by page every document with all the stamps laid out accordingly, explaining everything, answering any questions we had. Yumiko, I did my best to follow along. I think I did follow along for the most part. Yumiko asked to make sure that I understood a couple of key points. When we finished the first document, we then went on to the second document. The first document included some really interesting information that I should have written down, including some balance information. I did remember it though. We're going to double check that with the realtor tomorrow. Basically the final balance, which is easy to calculate because we have the price of the house plus the down payment, and then what's remainder, right? Excluding the realtor fees, which I know what that is too, how much that is. So that would help me to determine how much to bring across from America. Anyway, after we got through all of that document, we went through everything like I said, all the details were there. We then went through the second document, and I confess I don't know what the difference was. And there was a third document, I don't know what that was. And then we brought out this portfolio thing that had the information about the seller, including their photo and bank information, literally the bank account information, and we send our deposit like right there. For the moment, if you're not familiar with the Japanese drama, Tokyo Swindlers, I had a moment where I suddenly went, gasp, my God, this is it, we're being swindled, because you remember how Tokyo Swindlers is about real estate swindlers. Wow, I'm even talking fast like Lyle's brother. You know why Lyle's brother talked so fast? It wasn't because I was necessarily more hyper back then. It's because I had to get it done with before I got to the end of the damn street, because there'd be people. That's why I just realized that, because I don't watch my videos, but the few times I have seen a Lyle's brother video for the purpose of wanting to share it with somebody, and I listen to it a little bit to make sure it's the right one, I always go, man, that guy talks fast. Now I know why. Here comes another bullet train. On the same tracks, no less. What was that, like 2 minutes apart? They're running fast tonight. So, now, the thing was, the Tokyo Swindlers is about real estate scam where they would basically have people pretending to be real estate selling agents, realtors, lawyers, etc. And they're really just conning people to send wire money, and then they walk away. And when they presented the wire information, here's the bank information, and then the photograph, and then the realtor even said, because the woman's young, she's like 45, that's selling it, she inherited it from her parents when they died. He even said, she's beautiful, isn't she? And I went, that was the trigger. That was the kind of like the little mark that I would think would be the thing that a swindling person would say to kind of draw you in. And I started looking around the real estate office for signs, and I go, well, for one thing, they've got an office. That's in their favor that they're real. For another thing, there was a fan spinning, and the fan was stopped because it's winter, and it had a little collection of dust at the blades. And I go, that's a good sign. That means that it took time for that to happen. Another thing, they had time cards. And I thought, and they had 3 time cards because there's 3 people in the office. And I thought that makes sense. I mean, if theirs is a scam, they went into a lot of detail. So what the hell with it? So when we were all done with that, we got out the requisite stamp, stamping all over the place, all of it. And we got 1 copy of documents. And then we went out, and Yumiko and I went to a park, and we sat down, and literally Yumiko got out on her phone, beep, 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 and sent. Here comes us. Here's just a regular old JR train going by. And a bullet train too. There's a bullet train right there it goes. That's a bullet train headed to Tokyo. We got a twofer. So we literally sent the money right away, and it was done. Nothing got back, and that was the end of that. So with that, then there's some people. I'll drop the camera down. The transaction was complete. No escrow service or anything like that. We just got the information. We wired them the money, and then the next step is we get the rest of the money brought across from the United States. It's on its way, and then we give them that, and then I guess we get a set of keys. Now, am I just trusting into? Oh, look at that. That's interesting. That is the JR. You don't see that very often. That's the car that goes slowly along the tracks, making sure that there's no funny business going on with the railroad, like me, right? I'll go up here. Oh, there's a kitty cat. So I got to wrap this up. There's people, there's railroad employees, and I'm on a little narrow road. I'm looking suspicious. People are going to walk in the path, look up here and go, what's that foreigner up to? So I'm just, there they are. And so that's how you sign the contract and buy a house in Japan. We're almost to the end. I'll report on more. This is awful. I'm no good at reporting, but this is the experiences I'm experiencing it here in Japan. I'll go back this way. There's more people there. So I'll sign off for now. Wish you all the best. Be safe, but not too safe. Bye-bye.